RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Okie dokie. How you doing, everybody? This is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Sorry I'm late again. That's all I can say is I'm sorry. I prepare the show. I try to prepare the show. And everything comes up. I feel like my microphone is not set normally. Okay, and hopefully we won't have a lot. We'll see what happens tonight because I actually, I need to do my roots. I upgraded the internet, so we've been having a lot of problems. I contacted Spectrum, and I got the the latest upgrade and new equipment. So I do hope that we don't have any more interruptions like we have been. So thank you for bearing with the show. This is the long-suffering Tarabuster community. I appreciate everybody. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. And if you guys are on other platforms, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to hang out in the greatest chat room in American history with the greatest patriots in American history and some people from around the world too. We do have international viewers and listeners, and I appreciate that. It's a perspective, a different perspective. I am a little envious, and also, but it just goes to show you how the world is interested in what goes on here in America, and they're just as shocked. The normal people of the world, they're just as shocked, dismayed, disappointed as we are. And okay, and also I'm just thinking about what I have to say. There's so many things going on, but Charlie from APS Radio News, I want to thank you, as always, for being a long-standing, also long-suffering supporter of the show, putting up with the late starts and all that. So thank you for that, and I understand. I know you're tired. I'm tired too. Look at me. Look at my fucking face. I mean, whatever. Just gotta go with it, right? I get very self-conscious. I could see myself as I'm doing the show, and I'm like, all the negative whatever. I wonder if Steve Bannon has that same issue when he looks at himself. Or Traitor Trump. What a dirtbag that Traitor Trump is. Have you seen how much makeup he's wearing nowadays? I mean, he really looks like a greasy orange stain. I don't hope he drops dead, though, now, because I want him to finish out his term, at least, so we don't get J.D. Vance. Because he's worse. J.D. Vance is worse. He's more disgusting. I mean, no. They're both disgusting, but J.D. Vance is he's a more capable fascist. And Bannon, I mean, I'm just thinking of Steve Bannon, because we're going to talk about him. But Trump he's a malignant narcissist, and he's completely inept. And that's really one of the only saving graces, in a way, is that he's going to stock his administration with a lot of nut jobs. I don't think, the leopards are going to start eating people's faces who voted for them in short order. But as I've been saying, I mean, I went from, so after the election, and first, let me just start by saying thank you from Charlie from APS Radio News. In case I didn't plug the website, I'm sorry about that. APS Radio News. Charlie is a curator of independent media voices, and he does his part to make the world a better place. This is all we can do, right? You do it anyway, even though it's not perfect, even though the internet goes out sometimes and the stream stops, even though you're hoping that somebody becomes a patron. Please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And you feel, is it worth it? you do it anyway, right? You don't wait for the perfect. You do it anyway, okay? And we know that. That's how progressives have to roll, because we don't have big billionaire benefactors. And okay, hence what we're up against. I don't know. I have to move this. I have this mat down here. It's kind of like in my way. Let me move it over. It's good for my feet because I have a standing desk. When I've been sitting up, my ass has been hurting when I sit. Somebody said I had sciatica. How do you pronounce that? Sciatica? I might. I don't know. When I sit too long, my ass starts hurting in that chair. I don't know if I probably need a new chair. That chair's it was an expensive chair, but it's very old. I certainly got good use out of it. Yes, hi Haiku. Thank you for joining us. Haiku, moderator in the chat. Haiku says, I'm gutted. Me too. Honestly, I went from, I think I told you guys, because Robin and I did a simulcast the next day, but we were also on the air. I was on Robin's show, headon.live, and Robin does her show every night at 5 p.m., 5 to 9. So if you're not here, you should be there. And then you listen to the Mike Malloy show at 9. And then you listen to me Wednesdays and Fridays. But you could also listen to the podcast on your own time, on your own convenience. And the Mike Malloy podcast, too. If you subscribe to Mike's podcast, you get... He really is amazing. He does a show every single day. I don't know how he does it. And he does extra content. I really need to do that, but I just can't, I don't know. Between the 4 cats and the guinea pigs and my body dysmorphic disorder, sometimes it's hard. Okay, so let's see. So okay, you guys, I was on the air with Robin on election night, and it was devastating, of course, and it felt a lot like 2016 all over again. I couldn't believe it was happening again. I really did think she was going to win. I was convinced. I convinced myself. I mean, I don't know. Even though it was a squeaker, but I didn't think that and I guess that's where the American people always surprise me. Like in 2016, one of the reasons why, when I assessed my feelings, I took my personal inventory of my feelings, I thought what was really knocking me on my ass was that it was a realization of how many racist, horrible people are in the country. And I guess I was under a misconception that we were better than that, you know? So this time, the same thing. You know, we had an opportunity to have a woman who is capable, a prosecutor versus a felon, somebody who we could be proud of on the international stage, who wouldn't embarrass us, who wouldn't mimic oral sex on a microphone or sway to the oldies for 40 minutes because he gets bored answering questions, or someone who is not a crook, a felon, a tax cheat, a rapist, a serial bankrupt con man who calls Mexicans rapists and wants to deport everybody, and also talks about migrants eating cats and dogs, you know, lies to the people, divides the communities he pretends to give a shit about, and on and on and on. I mean, he is really the most horrific, disgusting waste of human DNA to ever inflict itself on a fledgling and struggling democracy. So it's really shocking that I had higher expectations for my country because, you know, you guys know I was in the National Guard. I joined the National Guard after September 11th. I joined because I wanted to do my part for my country. You know, I've always loved the country. I've loved America. I love the promises of America. I know I'm not under any delusion we've ever achieved those promises, but I thought or hoped I was doing my part to make this country live up to its ideals. And to me, it just seems like common sense. It's humanism. Leave no one behind. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. You know, we're in this together with all our flaws. And I always thought that, and I should know better. But we're going in the right direction. And now that I'm saying this, when I was in college, I had a history course, and it was a great history course. I have to tell you, I love history anyway. And the first day of the class, wait a minute, here comes the music. Thank you. Become a patron. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. This is Tara Devlin. Be right back. So when I was in this history class, I went to CUNY for my undergrad, City University of New York. And, there's campuses all over. So, so there was a history class. So a lot of the professors in CUNY, actually, believe it or not, they're very good professors. And the professor that I had for my history was actually also something's in my mouth, a professor at Harvard. Hold on. What the fuck? So he was real tough and was like really knew what he was talking about clearly. And it was a really hard class, but I learned so much. It was great. And one of the books, I wish I could remember the name, and I don't know where the hell it disappeared to along my travels in life. But there was this book that he had us read, and it was writings, contemporaneous writings from various periods throughout history. And it starts with the liberal age of it starts further back, like we're talking about Cicero and Marcus Aurelius and whatnot, and then it goes into eventually we're reading writings from the liberal age of Enlightenment, and then we're reading about Nazi propaganda, extermination camps, World War II. And contrasting the whole book was what we were discussing was that how history doesn't run in straight lines. It's not linear. We're not always going in the right direction. And if you read the writing, if you read the musings of people who were living in the Enlightenment, they thought, well, it's only going to get better and better from here. Now that we've had this awakening, this awakening of human consciousness that we can do this together. We don't need an aristocracy and a king. All people have fundamental human rights that we should respect and cultivate and cherish and whatnot. And then you go to the racist tripe and the racist bullshit that eventually sent not just the 6 million Jews, but 85 million human beings to their cold early graves during the 20th century in World War II. And so I guess the whole point, and I do wish that I still had that book. I could see it. It's a little black book. It's like a square. I couldn't, we're talking like 20 years more now, right? What am I talking about? 30. And so that's how I feel about this moment, because one of the startling postmortems is that a lot of people don't really care about democracy. They don't care about the the liberal order of Western civilization for the past 100 years. They would rather have, cheap gas or eggs at less than $2 a dozen or something. They will sell freedom for a little bit of security. And isn't this what Ben Franklin said? That famous quote, those who would give up liberty for a sense of security deserve neither. And you end up losing both, frankly. But all of this didn't happen overnight. And I'm telling you, though, we're coming out of the end of a worldwide pandemic, right? Where this is the recovery. And a lot of the inflation, it's happening all over the world. And the United States, the inflation is coming down faster than every other country. And I don't know. It's very babyish to think that, otherwise that some person who pretends to be he's not a strong man. He's a baby. He's not strong. He's the most fragile, weakest, babyest man-child I've ever had the misfortune of having to endure. And it's that's probably what's disappointing me. And the racism too is so blaringly obvious that it's disgusting. And misogyny. A lot of according to the polls, Latin men would never vote for a woman, because that's not their culture. Well, fuck you then. Get ready. Get ready. You reap the wind. You sowed the wind, now reap the whirlwind. And so that's why I've been fluctuating between despair, depression, kind of the same, and rage. I'll probably stick with rage. I'll land on rage because that will spur me into action. Now, what can we do? We just can't go quietly into the dark night. We, rail against the dying of the light, right? So, come what may, we'll have to deal with it. But I've really kind of prepared myself psychologically. I'm sure it's going to be a process too, but I've been preparing myself psychologically for the madness now. So we have the runway. He's not in there until January 20th. And I was watching Jimmy Kimmel, his monologue, and he said it's sort of like you see the oncoming train, 2 months out, and you're still walking on the tracks, and there's nothing you can do to avoid it. And that's what it feels like. But yeah, they're going to fuck it up, and they're gonna try. And I want to talk about. So tonight, I wanted to talk about what happened. How? That's the other thing with the Democrats. How could the Democrats lose to such a disgusting waste of human DNA? Such a horrible, unfit, unqualified, I'm person? Malignant narcissist. There is with no redeeming qualities. Zero. And many people, according to the exit polls too, who voted for him, say they don't like him. And sure, he has flaws. Let me read you something, actually. I was on, not Twitter, on Facebook. Now it went away. God damn it. And, I'm in this local group. So it's for the people in my neighborhood. I don't really know the people, a lot of them, but they're posting, and somebody posted, "What are we gonna do now that?" Because I live in Queens. It's it's called the world's borough for a reason. It's the most culturally diverse area of the country, and people are like people are upset, and they're saying that they're going, what are we going to do? We need to organize. A lot of people are scared. Hold on a second. My name is Tara Devlin. Be right back. Unapologetic liberal talk. So people were saying, they're scared, and it made me think too. Isn't that something that really sums up the state of the world? Well, the state of the American political landscape. That when Republicans win, right? I've been debating with myself they're fucking Republicans. Who are we kidding? When the Republicans win, they, excuse me, how am I going to put this? When Democrats win, Republicans get angry. When Republicans win, Democrats get scared. If that doesn't sum up the two parties and what they have in store for the American people, I don't know what does. They get angry, and normal people get scared because Republicans are not in it for altruism. And this is why I can't get over the fact that working people are that stupid to think that Traitor Trump and Elon Musk and these billionaires who could give a shit about them are working to make their lives easier? Are you the stupidest Stockholm suffering suckers? For Christ's sakes. It's embarrassing. You should probably reassess yourself. But, I mean, really, being a right-wing dupe, the narcissistic supply of a con man is really a sad way to go through life. But the fact is, they think that Republicans are the party of the people. And this is all a failure of the Democrats, you see? And Democrats have been, and we'll talk about, Bernie came out and had his assessment railing against the Democrats. AOC made Instagram post. Well, she was on a call or what? She did a whole thing like for a couple of hours on Instagram, talking and taking comments and discussing the situation. And she mentioned, it's the failure of the Democratic Party because the problem is that Democrats are, and we talk about it on the show, they are also swimming in the filthy pool corroded by money. That this is the system that the Republicans on the Supreme Court inflicted on us. Money in politics is the root of this evil. And so they have to raise money, but I wonder, AOC and Bernie, they don't take any corporate money. They don't take any PAC money. And I think that's one of the requirements to be in the Progressive Caucus is that you don't take corporate money. You don't take PAC money, dark money, because that opens you up to being a nothing but a puppet, of course. I work too. I got bosses too. You don't want to, you want to do what your bosses want you to do. You dance with the ones who brought you. You're not going to mess with your livelihood by going against your boss. If your boss, the person who gave you nearly, $200 billion or more, if that person wants you to do something, you're going to do it. And Traitor Trump, of course he's going to do it. I'm sure you saw he was on a call with Putin today and put Elon Musk on the phone. It's an absolute disgusting disgrace. Elon Musk is, he's not a natural born American citizen. He's from apartheid South Africa. And I think we talked about the last time the last show that he said, well, the Americans messed with apartheid. Now I'm only returning the favor. Like apartheid's a good thing. So And don't be. I mean, this is the thing. Another thing we were talking. When Biden or whatever, they were like, "We're garbage." They are garbage. You're garbage. I'm sorry. You have got garbage ideas, garbage policies, and if your policies are that garbage that the American people are in fear right now, that those who have a clue are in fear right now. I guess you like that? That's the other thing, which is garbage. When they're like, oh, well, we like triggering the libs. Good, I'm happy. Oh, you're upset? I'm happy. I don't get happy when these assholes are upset. I get concerned for them. I wonder where they're getting their information from. Because these people want the progressive policies. They want Social Security. They want living wages. They want Medicare. They want to have all of the benefits that Democrats, that progressives fought for, enacted in spite of conservatism, in spite of conservative obstruction, and standing athwart history, yelling stop. They want that. You know what really pisses me off? That the Democrats piss me off, because they don't. Here's what I think about it. The Democrats. Let's remember. They don't take credit where credit is due. The Democrats gave us the weekend. You understand? The Democrats gave us the 8-hour workday. That was not a law until FDR. It was only 1938. We got an 8-hour workday, and now the American people think that came about because billionaires felt like trickling it on us. It's so ingrained. This is how we live our lives now. 8 hours, and if you work past that, you get overtime. And then you get to have a weekend, too, so for yourself, which is something that did not exist. People worked 17 hours a day, and then they dropped in a company dorm. The sign in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, said, don't come in on Sunday, don't come in on Monday. Meaning, you want to go to church? You want a day of rest, like the Savior you pretend to worship or whatever? Then no. Don't come in. You're fired. They worked every single day. Exactly, Ed on the chat. It used to be an 18-hour day. Right, and the cry for years, decades, for a century was, well, it wasn't the cry for a century, but the rallying cry for the socialists at the time was 888. 8 hours rest, 8 hours work, 8 hours rest, 8 hours to do with what you will. So you can have a life. And FDR, Frances Perkins, she's the one that came in with, she was Frances Perkins was FDR's Secretary of Labor, the first female Secretary of Labor, first female secretary, or cabinet member, I should say, not just Secretary of Labor. And she had her proposals, and that's what she wanted. And sadly, it also included health care, which they never got passed, thanks to Republican obstruction. But they also, the 8-hour workday and the weekend, I mean, there's no memory of this. And what do the Democrats do? It's like they have more of a vested interest in rehabbing or promoting the Republican brand than the Republicans themselves. The Republicans don't care. They're not trying to fix anything or offer anything. It's a scam. See, the Republicans know it's all about the message. And that's why I always say, thank you for supporting the independent liberal media. You don't hear this on regular media because they're run by the corporations. They're not going to even, we have half the media is controlled by like Rupert Murdoch's poison pustule, and funded, literally funded by the Kremlin. These podcasters, but they do that on purpose. There's all these podcasters out there, and they get, like Tim Pool, getting funding from the Kremlin, $100,000 a month, or I think it was more. If I might not be remembering it correctly, $100,000 a month, Tim Pool, from the Kremlin, and he's, well, great. Why? Why are you're promoting? Why are the enemies of America funding you? Traitor? Right? I mean, they don't fund me. They don't fund Mike Malloy or Robin Kincaid. They don't, because we're not doing the work of tearing this country to shreds. Yeah, these Tucker Rose, Tucker Carlson. And they don't care. And the Republicans, they're cool with it. But that's because it's the half the country is thoroughly propagandized by the fake news. And they have done the tricks of fascism and successfully nullified the currency of truth in this country by calling the legitimate media that at least has standards, and if they get it wrong, they correct themselves, that they report on what's happening, and that's fake news, though. So according to the maggots out there, everyone's lying to them, but the tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university, the lifelong, the serial bankruptcies, the rape, the classified documents in the shitter, the scams, the lies. Everyone's lying to them except the con man who created businesses designed to separate suckers from their money. Who still owes all over the country. You realize he owes money to different states because of his Nuremberg rallies. He don't pay. He just don't pay. He doesn't pay his bills. I'd be rich too, I guess, if I didn't pay my bills. He's a goddamn parasite. For God's sakes. And they think he's their savior? It's sickening. And that's the failure of the Democrats. The Democrats, because they're so busy trying to convince America that the Republican Party, we really need that Republican Party that's done so much good for America. As Nancy Pelosi constantly would say. And says, take back your party. The American people need a Republican Party that's done so much good for America. But yet there's what example? Give me one example of what the Republican Party's done, which is good for America. So much good. There must be something. Why are you struggling? Nobody can tell me. Am I not seeing it? Am I missing it? I don't know. All I see is, because I know history. I know reality. I live in reality. But the fact is, these maggots, half the country they don't live in reality. A lot of people are dumb. Yeah. They're malinformed. They're misinformed. They're uninformed. And they just take the word of the con man. No tax on tips. Okay, let's see. No tax on Social Security, please. Bitch, please. It doesn't matter. He lies. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Oh, you're going to be so rich. You'll see. Oh, don't move out. You better buy a house here. He told all those union workers. Because you're going to be making a lot of money. And then the factory closed. And what did Traitor Trump do? Absolutely nothing. He never did shit. When workers went on strike or were trying to collectively bargain for better, a bigger piece of the profits that their labor made possible in the first place. The executives, the CEOs are reaping record profits. And crime, poverty, they can't pay you. See, because that's always been the conundrum of business. This pesky labor, these pesky human beings that need to eat and breathe and if only we can, just go die, whatever. Stop. That's how they don't. Please, you're expendable. You're nothing. You're annoying. You're a gnat. You are, as Ayn Rand said, fuel to be burned by those who deserve it. These are their heroes. Take their word for it. Know them by the company they keep. Know them by who they admire. Hitler did a lot of good things. When all the awful people on earth are celebrating, when all the horrible people, the Nazis, the autocrats, the dictators, when they're celebrating, you gotta look at yourself, maggots. You would think you're not patriots. You're suckers. Some of them, hey, if you voted for him because you're a Nazi, I got you. Okay, at least you're honest about it, right? I mean, whatever. I know you're disgusting to me, but hey, I get it. You're a Nazi. Okay. But the other people, the others who are like, I want change. Eggs are too high. Gas is too high. Whatever. These people don't remember that Traitor Trump left office with the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover. Manufacturing moved overseas when he was squatting in the White House. He didn't do shit to improve the lives of anybody. His ineptitude caused the death, helped usher, as the studies show, nearly 500,000 people would not be dead if we had a competent leader who knew what he was doing, but he doesn't know what he's doing. That's why he was like telling the states, just do what you can. Look to yourselves. That's not leadership. See what you got, This is a crisis of federal proportions. No, well, just look to yourselves. That's what he did. That's why people were wearing garbage bags. The good old days of garbage bags and washing out your N95 masks. The people on the front lines, the doctors, the nurses who didn't have a day off for 2 years, watching these maggots die because they wouldn't put a stupid piece of cloth on their face, because their dear leader and all the other, Russian-funded propagandists were telling them, this is your freedom to not give a shit about anybody else but yourself. That's your freedom. And of course they love it. They laugh. They don't have to destroy this country they can destroy it without firing a shot. That's what really pisses me off about the stupid maggots and their enablers and the idiots that follow them over the edge. It really annoys me that they that they don't get offended that an anti-democratic foreign dictator who hates America is interfering in the election, is pouring lies, propaganda into their empty heads, and they are eagerly and willingly sharing it with their stupid friends. Spreading the ignorance. I mean, that is the definition of a useless idiot. They're useful to Putin, but here they're useless. So, people were writing on this Facebook group still in, and some maggot had to jump in, and she's trying to be respectful. She writes, people who are concerned about community strength and resilience need to know that Trump's policies emphasize law enforcement, securing resources and advocating for lower taxes, potentially giving families more economic leeway, exclamation point. His focus on issues like public safety and deregulation appeals to those who prioritize stability, as these can indirectly support community structure and resource accessibility. Okay, does that even make sense? But the thing is, there's nothing, whatever she said there, none of those words are even remotely based in fact, which I will go through in a moment after this commercial break. My name is Tara Devlin. I don't know. I didn't know what to say there. Okay. So yeah, and I wrote, so because she was like, yes, Trump has his flaws, but... And I said, malignant narcissism and dictator envy are flaws that we don't need in the White House. Though I must say, it must be comforting to have the privilege of celebrating the election of a fascist. And, mark my words, those who supported him will, went on about it. The serial bankrupt, draft dodging, tax cheat, wannabe dictator, convicted felon, Putin puppet con man with the fake university, the fake multi-level marketing vitamin scam, the history of sexual assault, the pathological liar who sent a mob to trash the Capitol because he couldn't respect the peaceful transfer of power that was good enough for George Washington, but not for the lifelong grifter, the autocrat sycophant who met in secret with his master Putin and confiscated the transcript, the lying grifter who once left office with 1 million American corpses in his wake, and the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover, the self-aggrandizing bloviator who promises the moon but delivers nothing but suffering, hate, and division, the shameful tyrant who stains and shames the nation with every tacky grift he signs on to, like the current cryptocurrency scam he's currently hawking with some 30-year-old scam artist who also runs a pickup artist website. Some flaws. And, one day they'll all speak of it in shame whispers, right? And I said, as for public safety, we see how Trump and the Republicans treat the FBI, holding them accountable, and the Justice Department and the Capitol Police who stood in the breach against the con man's violent mob of traitors who will soon be pardoned. We better gird our loins for that one. Who will soon be pardoned by the traitor-elect-in-chief, in spite of the fact that many of them pled guilty to sedition and seditious conspiracy against the United States. But Republicans, see, they don't support the police. They support the police state. There's a difference. Like all autocrats do. So, as for, and then she, because they go on about the tax breaks, these idiots. As for the supposed tax breaks supposedly giving families more economic leeway, I implore you, please stop listening to the con man's lies and the con man's propaganda outlets. The tax bill they passed in 2017 benefited the uber wealthy. It made income disparity and upward immobility worse. Yet the promises of magic beans millions vote for more concentrated wealth and in the hands of a few who don't spare a first or second thought for families, please. And then I attached this screenshot of, because then I asked, okay, did the tax bill that was passed, did Trump's tax cuts benefit families? And of course, it did not. 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed under Trump disproportionately benefited wealthy taxpayers. If the expiring provisions are extended, which they will be now, the highest income households, the top 5% who benefit, that's who benefited from his tax giveaway, will receive 45% more in benefit. A firm that's, that's it. They're just another zero on their bank account that they'll never spend. Unlike those lower on the ladder, when you build from the ground up, people spend the money and it goes into the economy. That's why every dollar spent on public assistance, for example, food stamps, for example, returns $1.60 into the economy. It's investing in your people, in your, they always cry about somebody getting like $16 more in their food stamps or something, but they never whine about the Elon Musks of the world, who they beg. They're like, oh, I love Elon Musk. Thank God for Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? How much do you have to hate yourself to be that much of a dupe? Don't you have any self-esteem? Do you think that praising these people are going to make them give a shit about you? They don't give a shit about these people. This is not Bernie Sanders. That's who gives a shit about you. Somebody who has a lifetime, a history of actual verifiable action of working for the American people, trying to improve their lives, practically, legislatively. There's not a single example. If Trump is such a man of the people, there'd be one example at least of his life before politics where he was doing for the people, right? I mean, look at my life. Look, you'll see, volunteer. This is just what I do, because this is what I like to do. Volunteer for things, try to help. Not just with animals. I volunteered for New York Cares, like painting schools and going out and cleaning up the fucking streets and shit. But National Guard, trying to serve my country, serve the community. There would be something. There would be. Did he ever go to a food bank when there wasn't a camera there? No, like Paul. I always remember Paul Ryan banging on the food bank's door when it was closed and everything was done. Everything was locked up, but they needed a photo op, so he was there washing the already washed and dried and put away pots and pans. He rolled up his sleeves to wash those pots and pans that were washed already. Like Trump at McDonald's. And then, what really gets me too, because all during this fucking election cycle, they were also posting, the Trumpanzees were posting things like, oh, he's such a champ. Look at him. He's just the greatest guy ever. And then we post like the McDonald's footage Oh, he just look at this. He's just like he's so great, and he's such a caring man of the people. And there was a, I guess in the 90s or something, there was some TV show where the boss got to. It's not Undercover Boss. It was or it was either that a show or some stupid thing like a one-off thing that somebody did where Trump was going out and doing, he was joining one of the, the maids in his hotel, making a bed, and then he was like sweeping the hall. And they're like, look at this guy. What a great guy. Isn't he wonderful? It wasn't The Apprentice. Was that in The Apprentice, Ed? I don't know. It was some scene. I'm sure if I Googled it, I would find it. But it was all him doing doing jobs that people do in his tacky hotel. So, like wiping up a table in the restaurant. It's like, but the people who were commenting, they're like, and whoever posted it was a Trumpanzee that was like, look at this guy. He is just it was an Undercover Boss. All right, it doesn't matter. You can Google it. I don't care. It's whatever. It was like the 90s, and it was because they all knew it was him. He was working with them. Of course it was him. No, everybody knows what that fucking idiot looks like. He can't go undercover. He was doing it as himself. He's like, oh yeah, let me help you here. He was like with the lady, putting the sheet on the bed, probably for the first time in his rotten life. But it was just the fact that they were all so enthused by it, that he was so great to be doing things like that, to put on what, a photo op? Are you stupid? Are you the dumbest? Like he's doing it for the camera. I mean, but these are the people who think Trump is a successful businessman because he played one on reality TV, in spite of the serial bankruptcies, the bankrupted trust fund, the bankrupted everything, all the tacky grifts. That's the other thing. It's such a telltale sign of a desperate man when you have to sign on to all these just very tacky grifts. I like this cryptocurrency scam with these shady millennials. It's ridiculous. This is Tara Devlin. Be right back. Okay, so yeah. But as I was saying about the tax scam, by 2027, the benefits of the tax law flow entirely to the rich. So that's how it's designed. Whatever benefits that were built into it was just there were a couple of you got a tax, I don't know, whatever. It was like some very superficial attempts to seem like this was something that benefited the people. They needed something to say that, oh look, you get $1,000 off here with this coupon, right? Collect the whole set and you get some glasses for your cupboard. But because they were robbing you, they were taking the money, like your deductions. Like teachers can no longer deduct classroom supplies, and the fact that they even have to buy classroom supplies says everything about this country. And now they can't deduct it. This country is fucked up. And I had high hopes, but by 2017, the benefits of the tax law flow entirely to the rich. Entirely. Not a single drop for you, sucker. Not a drop. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink for you. You dumb. For middle-income households earning between $65,000 and $116,000, The tax cut in the bill originally amounted to about $1,000. Whoopee fucking doopy. You talk about a year here. And then they, of course, rip you off in other ways by eliminating deductions and taking away, and like the salt tax, this tax that Traitor Trump did away with in his tax scam, but then went to Long Island to tell them all, and I will restore the salt deduction that I took away. And they all cheered. They all cheered like stupids. But if they listened to this show and whatever, and I said that to them, well, he wouldn't have to restore it if he didn't take it away. They wouldn't believe me anyway. It doesn't matter what he does. They're lost. So, conversely, the top 1% receive an average tax cut of about 70 grand, as opposed to $1,000 for the plebs. And yeah, so, but it does say that the TCJA did provide some temporary tax relief to middle class families, but they are expiring in 2025. And when they get back in to just fuck it up, right, to destroy, when the Republicans take everything, they're going to make this permanent, and they're not going to extend your middle class tax cuts. They already have the provisions for everything to expire by 2027. So they'll probably, just keep that under the radar. When they extend it, they'll be like, oh, this is the greatest tax, whatever, you guys, it's gone. Relief for families, like the lady said. Right? He just, he's such a champ. Giving families relief, you fucking idiot. God, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I always say that I wish Democrats would listen to the show. And I wish there were liberal billionaires that would fund the independent liberal media like they do on the right. Like the autocrats of the world and all the traitors, the traitorous, greed-centered ghosts of the Gilded Age do here. Because they know, the billionaires and the Republicans know that they don't have anything in reality to boast about. That's why they lie. They're shameless. And they know that all they have is the lie, and that's the message. These people, people are going about their business. A lot of them, they don't know shit from Shinola, and they hear this shit, and they're not looking it up. Is it true? They just believe it. Oh, you got a tax break. No, you didn't. You didn't, you dummy. And it's amazing to me. I don't know how they can believe it, and then I said, as for deregulation, this one really gets to me all the time because they're so childish, these people. Deregulation, it's all coming back. Trust me, it's gonna suck. Trump can't govern. He sucks. Everything he touches sucks, and the Republicans in general, all they can do is cause chaos and despair. They never bring light to a situation. What the hell is that noise? Oh, it's Spooky. I have Spooky in the pen down here. What are you doing, Spook? He's eating his hay. So the Republicans are like, deregulation, whatever. During the Traitor Trump's first maladministration, when if you were proposing one regulation, you had to take two away. I mean, how stupid, how juvenile can you be? That's just not how the world works. And the fact is, and I wrote to this lady, I said, this deregulation cry is as if it's some kind of cure or panacea for everything. Oh, it's bad. Regulation's bad. Well, like it's just red tape. It's unnecessary red tape holding people back by their bootstraps. Just unleash the bootstraps and fly. Be freedom. Because most regulations in general, just regulation, the fact is regulations are enacted because of because of hard learned lessons. People die, people get sick, people are hurt, they lose their limbs, like Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire. A lot of regulations came out of that, like you can't lock the fire escape. You can't lock people in. You have to have, there were many regulations. I can't think of the other. There's occupancy limits. That came from the regulations that came about from the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire. You have to have fire drills in buildings now. That's a regulation that came about because women and men, were throwing themselves out the window because they couldn't get out of the fire escape or any other escape because they were locked in. So, how many homes have got to fall on somebody's head, somebody's dumb head, until they're like, oh, gee, maybe this needs to be regulated to a standard that's safe. Hold on, this is Tara Devlin. Be right back. It's really true, that because that's what happened. We learn hard lessons, and then people are like, we gotta regulate this shit. We gotta make sure that people aren't eating, rat doo-doo when they go buy a sandwich. It has to be clean. There's standards. You got to clean your fork. You got to clean you can't just sell people dirt. There got to be certain standards. It's called civilization. Right? Go to some places that don't have regulations. See how shitty it is. You can build houses like falling down on your head. There are places on Earth like that now that aren't, these shithole countries that Traitor Trump talks about. They just build on top. There's nobody's coming around to check. Filth. You know what I mean? It's the truth. I'm sitting in my apartment here. I'm relatively secure. It's not going to come fucking crumbling down on my head because it was built to a standard with regulated materials that aren't shit. There's a fire escape. There's safety. Safety first. And it's just so childish. That's why they're stupid. They don't learn, and they're very easily led. Deregulation. And the fact that this lady she's just some lady. She's not who the hell is she? She's some lady. Who the fuck is she? Some lady who lives in Queens. And she's like singing this siren song of the con man. Tax cuts. You don't get a tax cut, dummy. Shit's gonna get worse now. And who are they gonna blame? They'll blame migrants. They'll blame immigrants. Law and order. No. Law and order, no. It's the police state, of course. So, tax cuts. And it's very childish. But that's what Republicans are. They're emotionally stunted. That's why they get triggered by people who are different. They can't handle it. And then I had another guy I posted something and he was like, it's restored my faith in America. And I just went off on him. He's not my friend anymore. He's just an idiot. He was like, my kids they were in lockdown for 2 years and you know what, asshole? I said, who the fuck was in office when there was a pandemic, dum-dum? That was Traitor Trump. Put your stupid kids in lockdown. They have selective memory syndrome. He only killed a million Americans. I guess that's the price of freedom. Fucking idiot. It really is tedious. My kids. Yeah, and I said, well, the good old days of wearing garbage bags as PPE. Jesus Christ. And the fucking maggots going into the ICU. I guess I should have worn a mask. Right? They're so tedious. And then every night, remember 7 o'clock, everybody would go out, applaud the essential workers. You know, when they had the essential workers, because when Traitor Trump was in office, the essential workers had to keep going to work, like at the slaughterhouse, at the death mill, the corpse making mill. He deemed them, and probably a lot of them undocumented, they were essential and they had to go, and a lot of them were dying. But that's how they don't care about your safety. And that's another thing when these maggots are like, my kids couldn't go to school. Well, you know what? It sucks. It does. But we were in a catastrophe. We were in a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Mistakes were made. But I don't think that, overabundance of caution so people didn't have to fucking die. Like teachers were supposed to, not only are they supposed, they're supposed to be like gunslingers at the OK fucking corral for these assholes. They also have to put their goddamn lives on the line because your little brat needs a babysitter. In the middle of a worldwide pandemic. You just didn't know what to do with them. Could have put them in front of the computer. And the whole world sucks. Stop your goddamn bitching and whining. That's who they are. They never just, you know what I mean? Like, join in and let's get through this together. If you make a mistake, let's fix it. But they're just standing on the sidelines like, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it fast enough. Look at me. Blah, blah. And then they fucking look back in history. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. Shut the fuck up. Right? They're just so tedious. Like children. Like brats. Stupid. Like Elon Muskrat. Man-child muskrat. A brat. Like, me. Shit. Fuck off to the woods. Fuck off to the woods, please. The woods are calling you. Right? Like the Unabomber, go to the woods. Fuck. They just don't want it because they want the benefits of civilization, but they don't want the responsibilities that we have to each other. So, and it's only going to get worse because he's going to fuck it up. He is. Oh, and I even saw a post on, I got to get off Twitter. It's a shit show. It's worse than ever. But it really is a cesspool. And they were like, not even in office yet. He's already got Zelensky and Putin on the phone, and he fixed the stock market. He fixed this. He did something here. He closed the border. He closed my ass. He gave me a hand job. He fucked my wife. He did, he fed my dog. And then he fucked my dog. So they're like enthralled. This is what leadership is. See, they think that he just sits and shits on himself, and the whole world's like, yes, master. That's leadership to them. That he just, farts, and the whole world is like, wow, do you smell roses? Where did these amazing bouquet of roses come from? Apparently, he does smell, by the way. This has been well reported. Not well reported. In fact, Adam Kinzinger said, well, that's probably fake news. He totally looks like he doesn't smell, right? This old fart that wears like grease paint. He must smell like roses. You ever look at his face really at close up? He's got very large pores, probably from all the grease paint. And he farts. He's got flatulence, uncontrollable, from his years of Adderall abuse. But Adam Kinzinger said something about that. I'm just trying to find it. Adam Kinzinger said Trump smells. Let's see. Yeah, he said that Trump, he was surprised that more people aren't talking about it. He says he has a pungent odor. He was on Jimmy Kimmel discussing it, but he also tweeted it out. Said something. Let me see if I can find that. Okay. He said, here it is. I'm genuinely surprised how people close. Oh, excuse me. No, stupid ad popped up. I'm genuinely surprised how people close to Trump haven't talked about the odor. Yeah. And then he wrote, wear a mask. It went viral. And then people like, it looks like he smells. He does. He stinks. He smells. Somebody said that he smells like soiled diapers, Axe body spray, and hot dog burps. So true. So true. Yes. Texas Patriot was offended, said, what are you, 12? When Adam Kinzinger said that he smells. Are you kidding me? And then somebody else wrote, sounds childish and spiteful. These people are pointing out that this is childish, that it's childish to note that Trump smells. Have they met the kettle? Has the pot met the kettle? Childish? This is the fucking party that stands with an old fart who wears orange grease paint and looks like shit. It smells like shit too, but that sits in a Nuremberg route, stands in the Nuremberg route, whatever they do, and listen to the ramblings of an incoherent dotard who doesn't know his shit from a fucking shingle. Windmills, Hannibal Lecter, calls people fat pig, horse face. Oh, just so childish. See, when Democrats, he's not a Democrat, but when other people do it, it's outrageous. How dare they? Could you imagine if Harris had taken the microphone and pantomimed giving it a blowjob? Right? Think about it. But Trump does it. And he's so strong. He's strong. He's a man. There's a real man there. He's, excuse me? He was showing us what he did for Putin behind closed doors when they met in Helsinki and confiscated the transcript. That's what he was doing. He was showing us. I mean, he showed us when he was at the press conference at Helsinki what he was gonna do. He might as well have done. He might as well have reached over and given him a hand job right there. He was doing that with the words. I don't know why he would be lying. Remember when he wanted to form a cybersecurity thing with Putin? Team up, Americans and Putin teaming up for cybersecurity. Let's give the fox the key to the hen house. What a dumb bitch traitor. You know? Isn't he a traitor? He's such a traitor. God, he's such a traitor. And so are the rest of them. They're all dumb, and leopards are going to eat their face pretty soon. That's all we can do. Expect it. If you are expecting it, you know, just expect it, and it will ease the blow. Expect it to be very bad. It's only going to get worse. People are going to get hurt. People are going to die. Yeah, it's true. But when it's your friends, the maggots, you know, your aunt dumb bitch who voted for Traitor Trump because she wants no tax on her Social Security or something stupid, that, you know, she's a dumbass who believes a con man, like the idiots who, hey, no fault of their own, I guess. They thought Traitor Trump was a successful businessman and they signed up for Trump University in spite of the fact that it was a scam created to separate dupes from their money. Or they bought those Trump bucks. And weren't they surprised when they went to the bank to turn them in? And the bank was like, this is nothing. This is magic beans. Hey, he's not hurting the people he needs to be hurting. Oh, no, he's going to hurt them too. That's what sucks. He's going to hurt decent, normal, patriotic human beings who don't deserve it. But he's also going to hurt you, Trumpansies. You lost too. But you don't know it. You're just too stupid to know it. And, you know, here's for example, here's Elon Musk, our future Secretary of Government Efficiency.
Produce a lot of government headcount, but we're going to give, I think, like very long severance.
He said we're going to lose. Isn't he? What a charmer. The charisma of this man is simply flowing.
It's like, I mean, like 2 years or something like that. See,
2 years.
Just go do something else is what we're going to say. And you'll get paid for 2 years, you know. And
yeah.
So you got a lot of time to go and
yourself.
figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the point is not to be cruel or to.
Yeah, sure. Why would you? Not like apartheid or
anything.
anything.
It's just that we just have too many people in the government sector.
Yeah, too many.
They could be more productive.
Too many. That's his only idea. This is what he does. You know, he's, don't worry, we're not going to be cruel. People are going to suffer, but, you know, go do something for 2 years. And if you think you're going to get 2 years severance, I got some more magic beans for you. But the fact is, what are you going to do in 2 years? When all the government jobs are gone and, well, you're going to go in the private sector. Good luck, bubby. Good luck. Good luck. This is the biggest parasite on Earth right now. Elon Manchild Musk, the most disgusting human being on the planet with the most vile waste of human DNA on the planet. They're both wastes of human DNA. And I even heard somebody, you know, the whole genius bullshit too. He's not a genius. Let's review. He's not a genius. He is a trust fund brat who got a lot of money from his daddy, and he bought into businesses that were already established. And then he used his daddy's trust fund money to force his name onto the founding documents. That's why he can call himself co-founder of Tesla. And then he tried to force the others off the founding documents, even though they were the founders. That's who he is. That's what he does. That's the only thing he does. He's destroyed basically everything he touches. I mean, a genius doesn't sit around retweeting anti-Semitic memes from QAnon. And they believe it. He's going to fix the government. Elon man-child Muskrat. But his track record is pretty stark. He's certainly, past performance is indicative of future results or something like that. How do they say that? Past performance is predictive of future, something like that, right? Of future results. Well, he promises to improve government efficiency under the Traitor Trump presidency. Let's see. He's got a mixed track record of cost cutting, regulatory compliance, those pesky regulations, like not letting Russian lies proliferate on your social media platform, because that's, not good for the American experiment. But he don't care, because, we helped end apartheid in South Africa, so he's returning the favor by ending democracy. He's proposed a government role focusing on cost cutting, and the only thing that means is that people are going to lose their jobs. That's cost cutting to him. No, he's not going to cost cut. I mean, this is the richest man on earth, this piece of shit. And it makes us have to assess again. And Republicans, they don't give a shit. But really, what is the meaning of life? Is it to make one tedious man-child super uber rich? Is that the meaning of an economy? You see what I mean? This is absolutely immoral. What's the point, right? To make Elon man-child Muskrat have another zero on his bank account so he can fuck up the whole earth or something. I don't know. But it's sick. This is sickness. It's let people go and do whatever for 2 years and then go kill themselves, I guess, because they can't find a job. Oh no, but you're expendable for the 1%. You are fuel to be burned by those who deserve it. Okay. My name is Tara Devlin. We will win. One day, we will, because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Check out Charlie's site, apsradionews.com. Thank you, guys. Support the independent liberal media or we're doomed. I'll see you soon. For real. Haiku is asking, Tara, somehow, is it possible you don't play us any Trump clips with his voice in it ever again? I know what you mean. I feel you. I really do. This is the worst part of this shitty period of time we're in. That every fucking day we gotta endure this tedious man-child, and it's only worse. It's gonna get worse because he's immune. He's got absolute immunity thanks to this corrupt and illegitimate Supreme Court. It's going to be a cast of characters, of clowns. It's just, they never do anything decent. They never help people. They never make anything good. So this ain't going to be any different. People are going to die. People are going to suffer. There's going to be chaos, confusion, strife, division. So as far as Elon Musk's track record, he, like at Tesla, he presided over mass layoffs, regulatory compliance, and treating employees like shit. Because you're nothing. You're nothing, pleb. It's unbelievable. He's been sued repeatedly for failing to make good on his promises of honoring laid off employees' severance packages. I mean, he's a con man, like Traitor Trump. He's the fucking richest man on earth. Maybe take $1 billion off the top, you piece of shit, and give it back to the employees. And then nobody has to get laid off. But I guess we're not living in that timeline where the meaning of life is that we share this blip of time together and we have an economy that we can all, progress, move forward together, and everybody can have a nice, decent life until we drop dead. But no, let's go back to being fuel for those who deserve it. And Elon Musk deserves it, man, because he was born on third base, thinking he hit a triple. And he's been marketing himself as some kind of genius when all he is a parasite that sucks off government contracts. And now it's going to get worse. And this unfit, America-hating dirtbag gets to get on the phone with our ally, our once ally, that Traitor Trump is throwing to the wolves, to the eternal shame of this country. And it's shameful. Shame on this country. Shame on us. We will never, it's like, Germany had her period of shame that they will never live down. We're living in ours right now. Shame on us. Shame on us. Shame on this country. Shame on any Trumpanzee, any idiot that voted for him. So he's just so full of shit, this man-child Musk. He of course, his cost cutting at Twitter X. He's got a thing with X. Everything is X with this fucking piece of shit. Why don't he X himself out and fuck off to Mars? I wish. And he, let's see, of course, destroyed Twitter. Yeah, led a decline, spearheaded the decline in a quality product, increased hate speech, allowed all kinds of disgusting videos on there, pornographic videos, fucking fake news abounds. Of course, his bullshit self-driving technology is not anywhere near, the hype of what he's been getting government contracts all over the fucking joint. Accidents, investigations, recalls, and also puts right in the spotlight Musk's approach to regulation, because he's just like, bootstrapped. This is holding my bootstraps down to have to think about safety and regulations. Pesky. That's for you, not for him. like laws or for everybody but Trump. Oh, yes, of course, like I said, the promises of generous severance packages for laid off government workers contrast with the reality that he doesn't pay people. He doesn't honor those agreements. So people have to get lawyers and take them to court. And that's like Traitor Trump, who doesn't honor his contracts either. You know, you do a nice job for him. You think you're hitting a good payday. An independent contractor. Oh, wow, I got a job. I'm doing all these cabinets or something in this tacky Trump fucking shithole that's going bankrupt. But he's gonna, wow, I got this great job. And then he stiffs the guy after the job is done. That's how he makes his money. He's a piece of dirt. And he says, sue me. Fuck you, sue me. So you're just a businessman. You know, you're an actual businessman. You're a small businessman that Republicans love, right? And you're an actual businessman. And you're working, unlike any of these suckers. And Traitor Trump, fuck you, sue me. You know what I mean? That's how he made his money. And you think, if there's, that's what a man of the people does to the people? That's what a real champ does? I don't know. These people are delusional. And that's why it is heartbreaking to think of the fact that the Democrats could not close the deal. And I know why. We talk about it on the show all the time. If the Democrats only listened to this show, we might have a chance. Okay, I'm not kidding, because we know how to message. We talk about it all the time. We're going to talk about it again, because here's the problem. The Democrats, like I said earlier, and we've discussed, they are also swimming in the filthy pool corroded by money. And the fact that the fact remains, you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve Wall Street and Main Street. Like Barack Obama used to drive me crazy. Wall Street and Main Street rise and fall together. No, they don't. Main Street is on the balls of its ass, and Wall Street's doing just fine. That was back when the second Republican Great Depression was, being ushered in. When Democrats were elected to stop the second Republican Great Depression in 100 years. And it used to drive me nuts. But that signals right there exactly who Barack Obama is. He's a corporate Democrat. He's an establishment Democrat. You know, he would call himself practical. That's what Hillary Clinton said. You know, I'm a pragmatic progressive. Practical progressive. I mean, what? Incrementalism. All incrementalism is nibbling around the edges, throwing us a bone while you're slamming us against the wall at 90 miles an hour. Well, we're 50. You know, the Republicans are doing it at 90 and the Democrats are doing it at 50. And while trying to give you an airbag, I guess, somewhere. So you can't serve these two masters. You got to either be for the people or you got to be for the banksters. And the fact that they can't message, you know, just like we were saying, we created the 8-hour workday. That's a democratic initiative. If people, and everyone in this country, it takes it for granted. Why don't they promote that? Why don't the Democrats promote it? The weekend. Great. Another weekend brought to you by the Democratic Party. Thanks, Dems. Right? Simple. Keep reminding the people that the Democrats work for the people. But they can't do that because they don't want to, I guess, maybe it is, maybe that's right. Like, they don't want to offend their benefactors. Social Security, Medicare. Not, why don't they promote that instead of saying we need a Republican Party that's done so much good? Oh God! And you don't hear the Republicans. They're never that gracious. Are you kidding me? And okay, well, let's start here with Bernie released a statement. Bernie, where's my eCam? Bernie. Beep bum. Boom. Where's the other one? Bing kong. I'll do this. It looks better now. Beep. Hello. Hi. I'm Tara. Hi. Hello. All right. I'm feeling probably because I haven't had a lot of sleep. I'm a little loopy. Senator Bernie Sanders. That looks silly. I'll put that down. I don't know. You can't really read along. It's too small. Bernie said today, this was on the 6th, he released this. It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class. Now it's the Latino and black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago, which is a goddamn disgrace. Today, despite an explosion in technology and worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents, and many of them worry that artificial intelligence and robotics will make a bad situation even worse. Today, despite spending far more per capita than any other country, we remain the only wealthy nation not to guarantee health care as a human right to all as a human right, and we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We alone, among major countries, cannot even guarantee paid family and medical leave. Today, despite strong opposition from a majority of Americans, we continue to spend billions funding the extremist Netanyahu government's all-out war against the Palestinian people, which has led us to this horrific humanitarian disaster of mass malnutrition and the starvation of thousands of children. Will the big-moneyed interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? Do they have any ideas as to how we can take on the increasingly powerful oligarchy, which has so much economic and political power? Probably not. In the coming weeks and months, those of us concerned about grassroots democracy and economic justice need to have some very serious political discussions. Stay tuned. Bernie writes. Oops, shit, I almost fell. And yeah, he's 100%. He's 100% right, as usual. He's right, and that's the issue. The Democratic Party. Here's the thing: the nature of the political system that has legal bribes built right into it. as I said, the Democratic Party can't serve two masters. Instead of embracing the clear pro-working class agenda, Democrats nibble around the edges. Whether it be, I don't even know, a fear, I wrote this down here, let's see, of offending their benefactors, or just an inability to stick to a clear message. Democrats don't take credit. They don't even take credit for their policy successes. And, look, where am I? And point the blame at and you know, they don't take credit for policy successes, and they don't point their fingers at the Republicans who stand in their way. This is what gets me nuts. Because, you know, what is this incessant need to cry and boast about bipartisanship? Oh, we did it bipartisan. Nobody, who the fuck is voting for Democrats because they want to see bipartisanship? Anybody? Oh, I just really want them. Maybe they say that to a pollster. I'm sick of the division. They're sick of, the people are sick of shit getting worse. Fuck the division. They don't give a shit, clearly. Trump is the most divisive dirtbag in American history. And they voted for him because he represented some kind of change, I guess, or a fuck you to the system that hurts them, you know, or whatever. I mean, I'm really there's so many it's not, you know, reasons or whatever. Like, I'm annoyed. Some of the people just voted for him because they like his fucking racism and shit. And that's, but you know, the others, you should be offended by that. But the fact that the Democrats can't message, they don't have a clear message and that's what's so infuriating. The whole time, you know, the economy is keeping the whole world afloat, apparently. I don't know. What did they say? The world's economic assholes were like, you know, the American economy is the best in the world, and inflation coming down faster, and everything else. The manufacturing that's come home thanks to Joe Biden, the infrastructure projects that are going on all over the country, some in Perjury Trader Green's district, right? We're expanding the solar panel plant there. They should have had a whole fucking press conference out there. Constantly. Biden should have had a press conference every other week or something. Why didn't he send out Harris every other week then? You know, I know that Biden has like trouble communicating. He should have sent Harris out there. So this is how many jobs are coming home. This is how we compare in inflation to the rest of the world. You know, get out some fucking charts. I know that people are still hurting, but this is what we have on our agenda. We're going to lower your taxes for the middle class, and not like Trump, who made this giant sweeping tax reform that made income income disparity and upward immobility worse. You know, they never do that. They go, oh, I got my Republican friends over here. They voted for this. They voted with me, and here we are. We're all good friends now. When they're not, they don't, you know, toot their own horns. Meanwhile, the Republicans, which is another example of the fact that it doesn't matter what you do. Clearly, don't rest assured that the American people are just going to know what you do for them. They're only hearing the negativity coming from the right. Don't rest assured that the American people will figure out the difference between truth and reality, and a fascist lie funded from the Kremlin. Don't rest assured. You got to tell them. You got to tell them. You're watching Fox News? Shame on you. That so-called news channel had to pay nearly a $2 billion fine for lying to you. They actually went to court with Tucker Carlson and said no reasonable person would believe him. That was their defense. He's an entertainer. He's a clown. He tickles your angertainment center in your brain. So that's what they should have done. And, that's what the Republicans were doing. Fake news, fake news, fake news whenever anybody told the truth about the comment. And then why weren't they defending it unapologetically all the time? Not just once, not just during the January 6th hearings or whatever. All the time. There they go again, lying again, fake news again. Why? They just think, oh look, we're all together now with Liz Cheney, and like, who fucking cares? Nobody cares that you got Liz Cheney. Who cares? What are you doing on the fascist propaganda channel? They're taking credit. For example, in the debate, I knew this off the top of my head. I don't know why Tim Walz didn't know it. When J.D. Vance was like, well, Trump was in office and wages rose for the first time in 50 years. Why wasn't he? Well, that's because of Democrats passing, in blue states, passing $15 minimum wage laws. Republicans sure do like to take credit for the Democratic policies that they stand against, and there they go again. They never say anything like that. And even after the fact, the Republicans have been working the refs for 50 years. The Democrats don't do that. And it's really annoying. Why don't they? Shame on the media for sane washing this con man. How dare they? And that's what, what I mean? Like for this Fox News. Fox News is fake news. For years, we've known. The studies have shown that people who watch Fox News are less informed than people who watch no news at all. The Democrats should be hammering that nonstop, because that's how people get their message. No one's coming up with this shit on their own. They're hearing it. That's what they're like, a caravan's coming to kill me. Where do they get this fucking shit from? Not from reality. They get it from the propaganda networks. That's why they're like, oh, Putin, he's a great guy. I really like Putin. I love authoritarianism. It's the best. He's our friend. So where's the counter narrative to that? Anyone who says Putin's our friend should be ashamed of themselves. Putin is an anti-democratic foreign dictator who's trying to undermine our democracy. And everyone who spreads that should be ashamed of themselves. I'm sorry. You need to educate yourself. You should stop watching a propaganda channel that has to pay $2 billion for lying to you. Think about that. Why are they? You really think these billionaires have your best interest at heart? But we created this system. You see, the Democrats did this. They helped the Republicans seed the ground. Everything is cause and effect. The reason we're in this boat is because of Reagan and undoing the fairness doctrine and starting the process of deregulating the media, and then Clinton putting the nail in the coffin with the Telecommunications Act of 96. That's it. That's why we're here. That's what gave us Rush Limbaugh. That's what gave us the divided country and the silos of information where decent people, I'm sure the lady's very nice, who think Trump gave us a tax cut so families can have some breathing room. Lady, you've been suckered again. Who likes deregulation? We all want deregulation. Regulations suck. They just suck. Hands down. Everything sucks when it's regulated. Except the things I eat, the house I live in, the car I drive, the roads I drive on, the sandwich I buy at the corner deli. You want parasites? Okay, deregulate. No standards. Let them, unleash the business innovation. See how far you get with, with that before you have explosive diarrhea. It's unreal. Right, exactly, Robin. The toys your kids play with, they're regulated. How many kids got to die? Remember they used to choke on fucking Legos and shit? Then they had to regulate it because kids choked on it. And that was a hard learned lesson, Let's not have this. Let's not have kids die when they're just growing up and playing with toys. It's unreal. So we regulate it. Oh, we want freedom. I want Legos that kids can choke on. If they're supposed to choke and die, then let them die. That's just the way, that's God's will. Another angel gets its wings. Jesus Christ. But I was watching Morning Joe, and Joe said something. He said that after the 2004 election, that book came out, What's the Matter with Kansas? And it was about Kansas. Why is Kansas repeatedly voting against their own interests? Kansas's high poverty rate, the education system sucks, the health care is abhorrent, people are dying left and right from addiction-related issues and whatnot. Why are they voting for their own demise by voting for a party that is actively dismantling their social safety net and cutting their lifelines? And he was like, the Democratic Party, they wrote that book and they're so arrogant. Not the Democratic Party wrote it, but some, I don't remember who wrote it. No, off the top of my head. Somebody might post it. And, he's right in a way, but to me, he had the wrong answer. It's not about the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party didn't lose voters or working class voters because of wokeism or some bullshit. They lost the Democratic Party lost the working class because of propaganda, and coupled with, the policies, the Republican policies that created this income disparity and upward immobility. And the Democrats simply don't say that. Trickle down doesn't work. Trickle down. But they signed on to it too. They don't talk about, when AOC was talking about the high, returning the marginal tax rates to the socialist Eisenhower rates of 90%. That was like, a freak out. She's a commie. But the American people, and then she was interviewed in the media, and they were acting like it was something from the moon, Where'd this come from? It came from American history. I mean, and she said, not everyone gets a 90% tax rate. It's a marginal tax rate. So when you're at a certain level, you pay that, and it goes back into the society that made you rich to begin with. That's how we all live in a civilized society. But the Republicans have so divided us these people are really suffering from Stockholm syndrome. They think, it's just amazing how they have learned to love their chains. And they think that these billionaires are doing something for them. Like, should Jeff Bezos have all this power? What, because he created a bookstore online? He'd have no bookstore online if it weren't for government research and development. He wouldn't be able to deliver the books if it weren't for our roads, our infrastructure, our education system, the civilized, the infrastructure of democracy that he didn't have. Hey, shut up. Siri's talking to me. The infrastructure of democracy that taught workers to read so they can read where the fucking package is going. And, I mean, it's just, we're in this together. So if you get super uber rich, then you don't get to accumulate so much wealth that you destroy our society for yourself, that you take it for yourself like a parasite, like a cancer cell. But the American people, a lot of them, that because they're listening to the fake news, the fake Fox News, they're like, you can never question the rich, the greed of the rich, because that's communism, don't you know? And a lot of people, like, on these posts that I've been reading where people are reacting to the election, normal people are reacting. They'll get the Trumpanzee in there, and they're like, Trump saved us from communism. Are you kidding me? I mean, the oldest canard. Fascism saves us from communism? Trump is the biggest communist going. He's the biggest parasite going, the biggest loser going, who got the biggest tax return because he declared more loss than every other American taxpayer for the tax years that we have of his, which we don't even know the worst of it because he won't show us. And so what's the matter with Kansas? What's the matter with the Democratic Party? They can't message. And you know what else? It's because of the silos of information and the refusal of the Democrats to stand up and break through and to fight with the courage of their convictions. But if you have no convictions, how can you fight? So what are your convictions? That's why we hear Bernie. He is persuasive. And he is on point and on message because he's got the courage of his convictions. He knows he's right. He knows he's on the right side of history and decency and dignity and democracy. But what the Democrats going, take back your party, Republicans. We need such a good party that's done so much good. And, never taking credit for themselves. Always willing to look, hey, we respect the peaceful transfer of power. Yeah, when Democrats lose, we respect it. Rather than, just want to point out here the hypocrisy. We got to turn down the temperature. Just on this side, though, right? This is how you get walked on like a doormat. Because it's not just that they're like, turn down the temperature, everybody. But it's that they don't stand up. And fight for the policies that actually built the middle class to begin with. Where you could start that conversation. The Democrats gave this country the New Deal that Republicans oppose and are trying to dismantle since FDR signed it. Why don't they say anything like that? No, we'll protect Social Security. These Republicans they have the nerve to say, "Oh, we gotta save Social Security." By what? Slitting its throat. That's what. And maybe people will start listening if you stand up. I mean, if you've heard Gavin Newsom, for example, like, he is a good speaker. He does seem to have a grasp, and he has passion when he speaks, and he seems to speak with the courage of his convictions. So, but I don't hear, you didn't hear Joe Biden doing that when he passed the infrastructure bill. You didn't hear any of them. The chips and science. How about you go and to the opening of the chips factory, another chips factory opening, thanks to Democrats. Finally, we're making things in America again, thanks to Democrats. Hold on. All right. Listen, guys, we're not going to end because I want to finish this little rant that I'm on. We will win one day. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully one day. Hopefully I'll be alive to see it. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Thank you, patrons. Thank you for your super chats. Jim. The lone super chat tonight. It's very lonely. Whatever. We stick together, we win. Support and report the liberal media. Report it to your friends. Invite your friends. Share it with your friends. You like this show? Share it. Deep. Yeah, right. Robin says, I didn't want Joe to concede even proposing a smooth transition was unwarranted just because 45 disrespected us all. 100%. He's going to go to the inauguration because you can't love your country only when you win. You know, this is what annoys me. I know he's in a difficult position. Same thing with Harris. I congratulated him. You know what fucking that piece of shit did? And this is what the Democrats should have been saying every day, too. Reminding the American people. Do you see how the Republicans do it? They never stop. They never shut up about their filthy lies. Doesn't matter what they're talking about. They'll weave it in there. Election was stolen. They cheat. Doesn't matter what they're fucking talking about. Whether it's Hannibal Lecter or sharks. Or let's sway and dance for a minute. Let me jerk off this microphone. Whatever it is. They say, they put their bullshit out there. And the Democrats don't do that. They should have been saying it every single day that, when we got here, these Republicans, they were so ungracious and with their tedious lies about losing the election, about the election being stolen. We didn't even have a transition. There was no smooth transition. They wouldn't allow it. They didn't invite us in. We had to catch up. We were well behind. It was supposed to be like a relay race where you're running and then you hand off the baton and you keep going. No, they blocked us because they are sore losers and they're liars and they're very dangerous and unfit to hold a leadership position in this country because they just don't want to lose. They don't want to lose power. They're not adult enough to handle it. And that is not how we roll here in America, supposedly. But they don't do that. Democrats don't do that. And in fact, the American people, this is what drives me crazy, believe erroneously that the Republicans are better for the economy. They think, Trump's going to be better for the economy. Consistently. This is simple math. It's just math. There's no getting around it. Republicans are worse for the economy. Democrats are better for the American people, for your pocketbook. And they don't repeat it. Have you heard the Democrats say that? I think I heard one say, I think it was Barack Obama said it. Oh no, it was Bill Clinton. He said, believe it or not. Believe it or not? That should be, why are you saying believe it or not? Because it should be rolling off everyone's tongue. Common knowledge. Sort of like how if you're really pro-life, you should vote Democratic because the abortion rate goes down under Democratic policies. And now they don't. How come we haven't heard from the Democrats that in the states that criminalized abortion, the abortion rate is up? Every single state. As is the infant mortality rate. How come we don't hear that from the Democrats? You hear it on this show and the real other liberal shows, I think. I haven't heard it much on others. Because, you're really pro-life. The Democrats don't fight like that, though. It's just, I don't understand it. Except if you're not trying to win, or maybe you're not trying to offend your big moneyed benefactors. You're trying to be all things to all people. And, that's how you nullify the whole pro-life. You say, what? When a Republican says they're pro-life, there should immediately be an accompanied, it should immediately be accompanied with a laugh track or by a laugh. Why can't I talk? When a Republican says they're pro-life, it should immediately be accompanied by a laugh track. Because they're not pro-life. They may be pro-birth against your will. They may be pro-controlling women, but they're they don't reduce the abortion rate. No. Why don't people know that criminalizing the abortion access doesn't reduce the abortion rate? That it just kills women? People don't know that. And why are they allowed to say they're killing the baby at 9 months without people simply laughing? Because, there's no such thing as an abortion at 9 months. It doesn't happen. And if there's something like that, it's because there's a catastrophe in the pregnancy. So, and that's where, you should mind your own business and get your filthy Republican nose out of people's business. Because it's a traumatic experience that you're only making worse with your filthy Republican interference. Why don't they say that? If they're so pro-family, why are they blocking our family leave bill all the time? We're the only country with no family leave, no paid vacation, no mandatory anything. Days off. It's fucking bullshit. And the other thing, this is why the Democrats are perceived as weak. That's what it is. Because the American people, they don't care about bipartisanship. We want a Republican Party that does so much good. No, we don't. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody. They want a fighter. They want people to fight for them and get things done. And I know that's another thing that drives me crazy. They're like, getting things done. You hear that a lot. If people want to get things done, what kind of things? Let's talk about the things, like the tax scam. No, not just any old things. Family leave, for example, living wages, You get a seat at the table, piece of the pie that your labor makes possible, the profit your labor makes possible in the first place, which is only fair. And then why not say, what's the meaning of life? Is it to make Elon Musk super rich? I don't think so. So we can all share this time together in a civilized society and enjoy ourselves. Have some time, have some money, some mad money to go on a vacation with, to take a day off, to take a stroll, to play a fucking guitar, to pet a cat, to go somewhere, visit your friends, write a poem, whatever. That's what makes life worth living, not toiling away thanklessly for Elon Musk, who can't stand you anyway. He's a sociopath. He doesn't honor his commitments. Oh, you're going to get 2 years severance? I got some magic beans here too, guys. And then the other thing that this is why this really gets me nuts. That drives me crazy about the Democrats, as we know, is the they're pining for the Republicans to act like adults. They're constantly modeling good behavior for them and hoping they join in one day. They're hoping they'll be like, yes, oh wow, yeah, I want to be an adult. Obviously they don't. They want to tear it down. And here we are, Project 2025. And as evidenced by the fact that they can't even say the goddamn name of the party. So if they're really sincere partners in governance, then, you could start by calling the Democratic Party by its name. And it gets me nuts that no one ever points it out on the media, whether it's the host or whatever, or the Democrat who's there for, both sidesism. They never stop it and say, and the fact that they do it is a missed opportunity for the Democrats, because it's another example. You say, look at this bullshit. They are such infants. They're such schoolyard little baby man-child bullies that they can't even say the name of the party. It's absolutely ridiculous. These childish, juvenile tactics are beneath the dignity of the United States. They should be ashamed of themselves. But how many times do you get to call someone outside their name and them not respond until you say, well, that's a beaten dog right there? When the Democrats don't respond to that, they just seem weak and defeated, because the Republicans, the Democrat is missing another opportunity to point out that all the Republicans have are little babyish taunts. But little babyish schoolyard taunts don't put food on your table, do they? They don't give you living wages, retirement security, a vacation. They don't meet the needs of the American people. And that is an example of just how sincere they are in this grand experiment of liberal democracy. They don't want to, they just can't, they can't even say the name of the party. It's absolutely, it's not only, they're not insulting us, they insult themselves, and they insult the American people who have to listen to this. Like, act like an adult. Act like you are someone worthy of the office you hold. If you can't, then step aside. Let the adults take charge. But they never say that. It seems to me, I am a Democrat, I guess, but it fucking drives me crazy, as we know, because it's weak. You don't stand up for yourself. You're not rising above. Nobody says that. They're not like, oh, look at the Democrats rising above. The Republicans are embarrassing themselves again. You got to point it out. Look at them. They can't even say the name of the Democratic Party. It's babyish. They're juvenile. But that's because they have nothing to offer here. On the other hand, conversely, Democrats have given you policies that the American people have come to expect and rely on, and including the ACA now, which they're going to try to repeal again. And they might be successful this time. But, they don't take a page out of FDR's playbook, right? Our greatest modern president, who, the only reason he wasn't elected a fifth time was because he was dead. Not because he was like, oh, the American people need a Republican Party that crashed the economy and gave you the bread lines. And in fact, he would remind the American people at all times who was responsible for their misery and who sent in the lifelines. And one of his famous, he said it all the time. He would talk about the Republicans were the ones that gave you the Depression, and then they stood back and did nothing about it. They watched you suffer. They watched you starve. And we don't do that. We're Democrats, you know? And they, and he said, there's an old adage, never speak of a rope in a house of a man that's been hanged. And then he said, if I were a Republican, the one word in the whole English language that I would never use is the word depression. To a big laugh. Because, they gave us the depression. Remind the people who's on your side. The Democrats don't do that. They're too busy reminding them that the Republicans have done so much good for the country. It's like, Yes. So, and this is what we know for sure. This was our election to lose. Harris received, 12 million less votes than Biden? But Traitor Trump also received 4 million less votes than he did the last time. So it's not such a great whatever. A lot of Democrats stayed home. If these Democrats had come out to vote, we'd have a different outcome. And why didn't they? Because exactly of what we're talking about. And what Bernie mentioned. Because here's the thing. The Trump voters and, the Democrats, the independents and all that, they want what we're offering. They want progressive policies. And in fact, in all these states where there were progressive initiatives on the ballot, they passed. Except in Florida, that's because they had a 60% majority rule, supermajority rule, whatever, about the abortion protection. And the Trump voters, this is how we know that propaganda works and that they're thoroughly propagandized, because when they were polled, it was clear that they believe absolute untruths. That's because Fox News and, the fake news tells them that. They thought, when they were asked about violent crime, they said it was at record highs when it's at record lows. They were asked about the stock market. They said it was bad when the stock market has consistently hit record highs with Biden in office. When they were asked about border crossings, they said the border was wide open. But the fact is, border crossings are at record lows. When they asked about inflation, they said it was at record highs when it's going down faster now than in any other nation, and it's lower than it was at certain times when Traitor Trump was in office. So they believe the bullshit. They believe untruths. And that just goes to show you the whole thing. They've been bamboozled. They got scammed. They've been punked by Russia and Traitor Trump and Elon Musk, man-child muskrat, who's going to fire them, and good luck getting that 2-year severance. So, yep. Anyway, all right. Well, we got more to do. We got more work to do. It's going to suck. Just prepare yourself for the shit show. And then maybe, just prepare yourself for all the horrors that are coming. But know that winter always turns to spring, as we say in Buddhism. I'm wearing my Never Give Up t-shirt, even though, I'm just doing it for my own, just talking myself into it, really. That's the slogan of the SGI, my little boot, not my little. It's a big thing, the Buddhist group I belong to. Okay. Remember, everyone, it's time for me to go. My voice is getting crackly. Do you want to see? Oh, Spooky's in his pen. Let me see if I can show you some cats. If I can turn on my iPhone camera. Click to start. Let's see if it goes. Okay. It's on. There's you guys. Is it upside down? No. Yeah, it does seem upside down. I don't know why. Oh, that's my... It's... You can't steal that anyway because it's been canceled. My credit card. I lost it. And then I found it. This is Spooky. Look at Spooky. Hello, Spookarooka. Oops, where are you? I can't see. I gotta move the mirror. Hi, Spooky. I can't move it. What the hell is going on? Why can't I? There he is. It's upside down. That's so strange. That's better, maybe. Hi, Spooky. Hi, Spookaroo. And then we got... Where the hell is it? This camera's really messed up, man. Let me try something else. It's not... It's like so weird. Let's try this camera. Everything's like backwards. iPhone camera, resume. That's better. Look who it is. Buddha. Hello, Booty. Thank you. Hello, Spooky. Oh, Spooky. All right. And then we get the producer. Hello, producer. Where's Francis? Where's Ray? All right. That was weird. The camera was like very hard to control. All right, guys. Isn't she cute? Yeah. Haiku says, I like Booty's velvety short hair. She's very smooth. She feels like a plush rabbit. And Steven says, did we just elect Hannibal Lecter? Yes, the great Hannibal Lecter. Alrighty. We will win. Thank you, everybody. We will win one day. One day. 2 years? I gotta wait 2 fucking years for this shit? To the midterms? I'm getting older. Damn. I was hoping that things would change. We'd go into a new progressive era in my lifetime, but I guess we'll just have to. It's like, the suffragettes who gave their lives for women's freedom and never got the right to vote themselves. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta lay down. And just pretend. I can't even watch the news half the day. I can't take it. But it's gonna get worse. Just gotta prepare. It will get worse. We're on the Terry Test. Try turning 60. I'm right behind you, kid. I'm gonna be 58. Believe it or not. I'm an old lady. But we are on the right side of history. I'm not, 57, so We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of... I know, right? Haiku says, for a minute, I thought Trump would only consume a significant portion of my life. On Tuesday, I realized he will consume the rest of my life. Exactly. Commander Bond says, you're older than me and I'm old. I know. It sucks. I'm old too. I mean, sometimes I see people who are my age, I'm like, fuck. Is that what that looks like? But I don't feel that. And I don't know. I know sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like, who's that old lady? But hey, you gotta go with it. Go with it and embrace it. What's the alternative, right? And we'll get there eventually. So just gotta like it. Just gotta go with it. Even though you don't know what's going on, just smile and nod. Smile and nod. And thank you for your compliment, Terry. Right back at you. Oh, you're funny. Thank you, my friends. All right, listen, we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together. We win, and we will win one day. Because it's true. We are on the right side of everything. So become a patron if you can at patreon.com/taradev. You can also join the goddamn stupid YouTube or whatever. Or what else can you do? I don't know. Support the liberal media. We got each other. That's it. Check out Charlie's website, APS Radio News. There are other independent media voices there, including myself. Charlie's a good man, a good egg. He likes little Boudica. He's very good. We stick together. We win. All right, guys. I gotta go. My name is Tara Devil. Let's get together during the week. I will see you. Be safe. Be cool. Take a chill. Take a nap. Take a rest. Take a walk. Whatever. And I will see you during the week. Hopefully very soon. I will. I'll see you during the week.